Hey Jürgen, quick catch up before the cup qualifying against Shimizu?
Definitely. First off, congrats on clinching your 2. The lids are flying, especially with that 7-0 win against Akita. Great way to celebrate.
Yeah, the momentum's been unreal. Even with the rotation against Sendai, we got it done. Now it's all about Shimizu.
Exactly. They're no easy task, but if we stick to what's been working, we've got a shot. Thinking of going back to the regulars?
Mostly, but a few of those fringe players in their spot could be a huge boost if we pull this off.
Agreed. Let's get that semi-final spot.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode number 8 of Red Bull KloppBot here on Sean Does FM with Omiya Ardija. I hope you're doing well, and come up today we're going to play the quarter-final of the J-League Cup against J1 opposition in the Shimizu S-Pulse over 2 leagues. So if you're looking forward to that, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up and some other love on this video as well. But today we did manage to wrap up the J2, both promotion up to the J1 and the title when we did take on Sagan Tosu. So if you missed that one, I'll leave a link to it over in the top right corner. We've just been making our way through the remainder of the J2 season up until this big cup quarter-final off the back of that episode. We had a couple more games to play. You actually saw the result of one of them when I put the trophy lift in late on in that episode. 7-0 over bottom of the table, blow a bit Sakita. So that was a good way for us there to celebrate our J2 title the day that we did get to lift that. Off the back of that though, we did drop points 2-2 there away at Tokyo Verdy. Not too bad a result though, considering those guys were the heavy preseason favourites, and the B fair did take a couple of changes there at halftime to kick us into gear and rescue a draw after going 2-0 down early. So that result, not too bad, but a little bit frustratingly, we do drop points. Not that it matters, and then a full rotation, the game leading in to this double game week in the quarterfinal, where we did beat Vigalda Sendai 2-0. That, of course, the team these days of Kaiki, one of the players that we did sell when we first got here. A penalty to Yokoyama just before halftime, and Osawa, he came off the bench and scored just after the break as well, making sure that Yokoyama would be fit for this game, because over the course of those last couple of games, it does look like Tomoya Yokoyama now might be ready to become our proper first choice striker after we just gave him a little bit of time since arriving from FC Gifu to learn how we do things here at the Red Squirrels. I think now he's finding his form. Hopefully he can show it in these couple of games we're about to play against the Shimizu S-Pulse. But as you would have been able to see there, pretty heavy rotation for that most recent game, so it should mean all our big guns are ready to fire here in the quarterfinal of this J-League Cup, where we're going to take on Shimizu, a team from up in J1. The first leg is away, so we're going to do a bit of a KloppBot hotspot soon before we get stuck in to this 2-legged tie. But these guys are probably a team we want to be aiming to beat next season, because prediction-wise, they were supposed to be one of the teams that were coming back down to the J2 after winning the title last season. Hopefully we can show we might be better J2 champions than they were, but they are doing a bit better than expected, up in 12th, and their recent form is a little mixed. But to be fair, they have taken on some quite good teams recently, and those are the teams that they have been getting beaten by. But 3 wins from their last 5 is nothing to sneeze at. Their captain is Thiago Santana, 32 years old, the striker, and also he's their key player out of Brazil, and he does look pretty good. A couple there of yellow tributes, but certainly nothing too scary, apart from maybe his strength and aggression. Going to some other players on this team, you've got Yoshinori Suzuki there, who is their vice-captain, a centre-back. He looks handy with 4-star current ability and potential, and very good jumping reach and natural fitness. No doubt he'll be out there for a large proportion of this quarter-final. So yeah, we'll see how we get on here against the J1 team, considering that we pushed the Kashima Antlers quite close early this season when we took them on in the Emperor's Cup. You'd like to think this would be a team who are a bit more beatable, albeit looking for Kashima now. They've actually dropped down the table quite considerably, so these guys might not be that much worse than the team that we took on earlier this week. But to be fair, that was quite a close game, and these guys are a lot further down on that season preview. Hopefully we can do a decent job here, and that should give us a bit of confidence, hopefully going into our first full season in the J1 next year, especially off the back of a transfer window and that near £15 million transfer budget that we do have as well. Thankfully, not too many injury concerns going to this game. Kabayama still out with a double hernia, and Kawatani, our backup right winger, a stubbed toe. So a couple of players there who might be on the bench at left wing and right wing in terms of backups. They're unavailable for the first leg of this one, but he should be back in time for the second leg. And also coming back recently from injury, Shunya Suzuki, albeit that doesn't impact us as much, because we have actually made a signing off the back of yesterday's episode, because we're still in the transfer window. I did say we were considering signing a couple of youngsters, and that's what we did. We bought 2 new ones into the club once this stops going all over the shop. One of them was Gustavinho from Mirassol. He's a Brazilian. We've spent 40k on him, a left winger come striker, come central attacking midfielder with that good 5-star potential. The KloppBot liked the look of him, so we brought him in. He's down in our reserve team, but one other player that we actually signed, he's gone straight into our first team in Valley Canate, a left back from the Ivory Coast. We did spend a bit more on him, around £115,000, but still, that looks like pretty good value for an 18-year-old with 3.5-star current ability and 5-star potential. He looks like a really promising player and young as well. Don't need to register him, which was quite good because actually, when we bought him, the registration window had closed, even though the transfer window was still open. Not too sure what that's about here in the J2, but he's a really good addition for us here, quite promising. The young 18-year-old formerly of RC Abidjan. It does mean that in some games in the league, we have had to drop Burtiso, seeing as then would have too many foreigners in our team, but in the cup games, don't have to worry about that, so he can come in. And also for this one, I'm going to need Wakabayashi in goal to fill the local under-21 spot that we do need for this competition. It was either that or Shimoda in for Evan Dimas. We'll see how we go here in this first league and hopefully pick up a decent result away from home. But it is our first time going to Shizuoka to take on the Shimizu S-Pulse. Before we get stuck into the first leg of this quarterfinal, it's time for the KloppBot's Hotspots. And here's what the KloppBot's come up with here for Shizuoka. First up, we've got the hotel recommendation, which is the Hotel Associa Shizuoka, conveniently located near Shizuoka Station. This hotel offers comfortable rooms with modern amenities. Guests appreciate its proximity to local attractions and the quality of service provided. And looking at the website, I can kind of see why. This does look a bit better than where he set us up on our trip to Tosu. This looks like quite a nice place here. In the background, big old Mount Fuji. You can see there, they do a pretty mean buffet / restaurant option there at this hotel, so I'm quite keen on this place. Can even get married there. They've got some videos and whatnot that do play sometimes. Must have been on the page for too long. Now it's going to load up eventually, but it does look like quite a nice place, this one, with that backdrop of Mount Fuji. Going down further, can't really tell what most of this says because I don't speak Japanese yet, even though my manager probably does at this point because he's been over there long enough. As you can see, got a pretty nice restaurant in there. They've got Instagram with a bunch of drinkies, which does look quite good, and some Halloween stuff. You've got a lovely view of Mount Fuji and some stuff nearby, which we are definitely going to check out shortly, as the KloppBot has recommended. But it's a pretty nice spot, this one, and it does look like it is quite a nice hotel here in the Hotel Associa Shizuoka. The first thing we're going to do, though, as per the KloppBot, is go to a shrine in the Kunizan Toshogu Shrine. This historic shrine is dedicated to Tokugawa Ieyasu, I believe is how you might pronounce that one. Apologies if I've got that wrong, but he's the founder there of the Tokugawa Shogunate. Located atop Mount Kunizan, it offers panoramic views of Suruga Bay, and the shrine's intricate architecture and rich history make it a must visit. Let's go check this place out here. That's next up here on the tabs. As per usual, here's the KloppBot's favourite website that he gets this stuff from. To be fair, only number 4 of 5 options. Not too sure if he's done quite so well with this one, but it does look relatively interesting here. The shrine that we are going to, actually one of 2 that we're going to here before our game against the Shimizu S-Pulse. You can see some of the stuff there, the elaborate roofs that they do have, some nice work there on those, and some quite nice views as well over Shimizu Port and big old Mount Fuji in the background yet again. Bit of walking to do, hopefully not too much, nothing too strenuous for our boys before we do play this big cup quarterfinal. So there was number 1 there on the KloppBot's Hotspots. Next up, number 2, we're off to the beach, Miho no Matsubara Beach. Famous for its scenic beauty, this beach features a picturesque pine grove and offers stunning views of Mount Fuji on clear days. So let's hope it's a nice day when we're there in Shizuoka. It's an ideal spot for a leisurely walk along the coast. Now, to be fair, it does look like a bit more of a pebbly stone beach than an actual sand beach I'm used to here in New Zealand, but still, that's a pretty good view. The guys can chill out there. Not too sure if swinging the water is a great option over there in Japan. It might be. Just might need to check on that before we take a dip, potentially after the game, for our recovery. In fact, it says down further there are areas of swimming that can be found on the peninsula's northern side. There's also some walks and lots of pine trees you can go look at. Example there on the photo. So we're off to a beach there, albeit not really that comfortable a beach. Might need to take the deck chairs there to that beach just to make sure you don't get a sore bum on all the stones. And our last thing the KloppBot wants us to do here in Shizuoka before this game is to go this time to the Shizuoka Second Shrine, a significant cultural site. This shrine complex consists of 3 main shrines, so 3 for the price of 1 if they charge, and it's known for its vibrant festivals, the traditional architecture and serene atmosphere provide a glimpse into Japan's rich cultural heritage. Here is the second shrine that we are going to. Some pictures there that we can see. Probably going to be quite similar to the first one that we visited. It does just a little bit different there in terms of the colour, but really kind of similar thing there. So I'm not too sure if the KloppBot maybe could have varied things a bit more here for this trip. Going to 2 shrines does seem a bit over the top, but he did find a beach, I suppose. Not too bad. As I said, that could be quite useful for a recovery swim the morning after this game, but hopefully these things will set us up nicely and we can put in a good performance and try and make our way through the semis by getting past Shimizu S-Pulse. And here are the team sheets for the first league here of this League Cup quarter-final. First up, Shimizu S-Pulse. They are going with a 4-4-2, and it does look like a pretty handy team. Their form not too bad of late, as we did see before. In terms of us, Yokoyama up front, as I said, now I think he's earned that starting spot. Also, a new left back from the Ivory Coast, he's in there, and also Wakabayashi to fill that under-21 spot. But hopefully, our guys can put up a decent fight here, and we'll see how we get on against one of the bottom half teams here in the J1. And not too well, because an early highlight, they put it far post, and Kaneko will head that one home. Oh dear, that is not the start we wanted here. Nice ball out from Thiago Santana. It goes far post, and that is a good header there. Not too sure who got out jumped for us. It was Urakami, which is a bit disappointing. And Kaneko, he makes it 1-0. And now they try to continue to put the pressure on us here from set piece, but thankfully this time we deal with the danger. Buddha there takes a touch before we try and do something on the counter-attack. Yamada back and starting now at right wing. He takes the ball up there before we switch it out left. Angelotti on the retreat, playing that one back there to Urakami. Now some good short passing, and Juninho has the ball just outside the box. We'll take on the shot, but that one goes well high. Early stages, 1-0 behind. And in fact, lots of action early here in this game. Again, it's a set piece, a corner here for Shimizu S-Pulse. Thankfully this time we deal with it. And it does look like there that Urakami might win the race to that ball. He doesn't. So now we might be a bit vulnerable here at centre-back. They try and play a ball forward there. Thankfully, he did retreat and does the tidy up work there. So eventually, Urakami does find his position, thankfully. Otherwise, could have been a bit of trouble there. But now we start to get the ball in the opposition half. Yamada, he cuts in field. Damas there will take on the shot. Looks like here, for some reason, we're going with some long-range efforts. But that one, not quite on target, quite similar to that Juninho chance we did have a couple of minutes ago. And now, again, we are down the wrong end here for a throw-in to the J1 outfit. So they're looking quite dangerous here early stages when they are on the ball, but thankfully again we break things up, and it looks like here we might have numbers on the counter. Angelotti plays that one in there for Juninho, who picks out Ohashi in a ton of space. Great chance, but unfortunately their goalkeeper comes up there with a big stop. Unfortunately, Ohashi just couldn't quite put that one into the bottom left corner. Still 1-0 behind, so there's a good chance for us there to go level. Only 10 minutes into this game, we try and float that one there far post. Unfortunately, gets dealt with there by Shimizu, and eventually they might get a chance to do something here themselves on the counter-attack. Kalinios Jr. makes his way forward down that right-hand side. Eventually, the highlight ends. Lots of action early, but we're still 1-0 behind. And just shot the half-hour mark, now we're down the right end here looking for the equaliser from a corner of our own. But unfortunately, again there, looks like that Shimizu might have us in the ear in this game. But thankfully, get the ball back there through Damas and try and get something going here down our right-hand side. But Disso plays that one back there to Wakabayashi, and it goes eventually forward to Ohashi, albeit gives the ball away. But thankfully, our new left back there in Valet Kanade, he can tidy things up for us there, and we get back on the ball. He plays that one forward there to Angelotti, who tries to do his man there down left-hand side before going back there to Kanade. Now we get it forward to Juninho and back to Ohashi. Now Figueiredo in some space here down the right-hand side. Tries to take on the shot there from a tight angle. Probably not a good idea, and it goes out there pretty safely for a goal kick, albeit we see the restart. We were on the attack, but unfortunately that pass there looking, I think that was for Angelotti, not quite on the mark. They pump it deep, and we have to build out here again from the back. So far, actually creating quite a few chances. We have more shots here than Shimizu have. Just that early header from a free kick, which has done us. But now Angelotti, he makes his way inside the box and squeezes that one nicely for Tomoya Yokoyama, who puts it away and makes it 1-1. Hopefully now he'll kick into gear and prove that he's going to be quite useful for us next season when we are in the J1. To be fair, I thought that he might just take on the shot instead of giving that ball to Unholly, but eventually it worked. He plays it in, the goalkeeper goes down, doesn't get there. A simple tap in there for our new number 1 striker to level things up at 1-1. And just about to make our way into the last 5 minutes here of this first half, and we've got a goal kick here to the home team in Shimizu S-Pulse. But thankfully Ohashi wins that one nicely in the air, and Juninho plays that one forward nicely to Yokoyama, who might pick up a double. No, he won't, because he was miles offside, so that one won't count. We'll just see here from the replay. Did look a bit too good to be true, and indeed he's a good stride or two offside there. Just mistimed the run, or Juninho held onto that one for a little bit too long, and now we go down the other end inside the final third. These guys are quite dangerous so far, and there and again they win that one, but thankfully that header goes just over the bar. But to be fair, Wakabayashi, I think he might have had that one covered, but you can see the stats there. We've had twice as many shots as Shimizu S-Pulse, but only one more on target, so really need that to improve in the second half. In fact, now those stats, they go up even more, but we've actually been more dominant in this game. But unfortunately, that early goal conceded from a free kick did mean we had to bounce back, but eventually we did there on the half-hour mark through Yokoyama. To be fair, no poor ratings out there apart from Yamada, but considering haven't really got a backup right winger with Kawatani being injured for this game, we might just leave things as they are here going into the second half. Looks like we're playing well, just need a bit better finishing, and hopefully we can take an advantage into the second leg back at home. Albeit the first half of the second half is quite similar to the first here, and they have a throw-in inside of our half, but thankfully we break that one up quite well. We nearly give the ball away poorly. Thankfully, just keep hold of that one, and Dimas plays it forward to Yokoyama, but unfortunately, he there just gets bullied off the ball, and it goes back to Gonda in goal there for Shimizu, and they now have a good chance here with a big kick deep. Junior is on the attack, takes on the shot, but thankfully, decent save that from Wakabayashi to keep it at 1-1, quite similar to the chance that Figueiredo had in the first half before we scored, but he put us over the top that time. They get theirs on target, but thankfully Wakabayashi there does some decent work. But now a couple of players are just going fairly still on a 6.4, so we're going to make some subs here for the remainder of the second half. Down our right hand side, Figueiredo, he can come off for Okamoto, and I think here we bring on Yamazaki, who can switch with Angelotti, so he can go to right wing with us taking off Yamada. Still 1-1. And in fact, just as those subs come on, now there's a corner here, and it is in our favour. Looking for someone there near post. It goes out there to Dimas from Bertiso, but the shot there goes just over that top right corner again. Still locked up at 1-1, 10 minutes into the second half. And making our way up now to the 69-minute mark, and we're going to make a few more subs here because Kanade's dropped down to a red hard at left back, not going too badly, but Suzuki can come on for him, and Bertiso going okay on a 6.5. We'll bring on Tabira. Here's a nice green link there with Urakami from all that work they've done together for the first half of this season. We've got one more sub left to make here. We might just wait and see what that could be if much happens off the back of these subs that we have made. In fact, we now have a throw in here inside of the opposition final third. Ohashi plays that one nicely to Dimas. It looked on target, but again, just gets under it a bit too much, and it goes over the bar. So he's now had a couple of chances in this game, just not quite being able to keep the ball down, so it is still 1-1. But we're certainly creating chances in this game, and again, Dimas here is on the attack. It's another great chance and lots of space. That time from outside the box, this time keeps it down, but pulls it just wide. Still 1-1 with just over 10 minutes left, and we might see here who drops down to a red hat. It's Ohashi. With our final sub, Shimoda can come on and play defensive midfield, because indeed, Dimas is no good in that position. We'll sneak our way here into the last 10 minutes, and a free kick here for Yoshida. Wakabayashi didn't even bother with a save, because that one was going well over the top. We do see the goal kick off the back of that. To be fair, a 1-1 draw away from home, not too bad, especially against the J1 team, but we'll see here if we can find a winner late on, because really have been on the front foot for most of this game off the back of that opening goal, which we did concede. Suzuki off the bench plays that one back to Yamazaki. His cross gets blocked, so a chance here for Shimizu on the counter-attack, but for some reason there, the attacker doesn't run, so Tabira can tidy things up. He gets back on the ball. Another iffy pass there looking for Shimoda, but thankfully we keep hold of it. He looks over the top there for Angelotti, and we'll get it back. Shimoda now, edge of the box, squeeze that one nicely for Juninho. It's a big chance, but it goes wide. 1-1, with only 5 minutes left And just about to make our way here into 4 minutes of added time, and it looks like this one might finish 1-1, albeit, as I say that, a free kick here to Shimizu S-Pulse. Saito pulls that one back there to Hira. They go far post again, looking to out-jump us in the air, but thankfully that time we do win the battle. That might be the fresh legs there of Tabira, and they go all the way back there to the halfway line, but they do find space now. Good ball there for Hira. Good tackle though from Suzuki, and Santana with the shot. Somehow that's beaten Wakabayashi. That's a bit unlucky because I thought their Suzuki broke it up with a good tackle, but despite the fact they've done next to nothing here in the second half of this game, Shimizu S-Pulse might be taking a 2-1 lead back to our house here for the second leg of this League Cup quarter-final. That's a bit of a bitter pill to swallow because we've had a lot of chances here to go 2-1 up in the second half of this game, but unfortunately just couldn't quite do it, albeit a late highlight might be able to pinch one back here as we are well over referee's added time. Unholody inside the box. He cuts inside, takes on the shot. It comes off the woodwork and it goes out for a throw-in. That might have been our chance there to level things up, albeit we do still get the throw-in. Is this just a waste of time highlight late on, or will this be a chance? Unfortunately, can't find Unholody there at the far post. He gets taken out though on that ball from Okamoto. It falls to Yamazaki, who will put that one home, and Rin Yamazaki, a player the KloppBot doesn't want here next season, will poke that one home, and thankfully it is going to be all square going into that second leg, and I think we deserve that based on the stats from this game, but he's there at the far post. That's Logan Rogerson finished that one from the Auckland FC debut a couple of weeks ago to make it 2-2 into pretty much an open net, seeing as the goalkeeper was occupied with Yokoyama, but we'll take the 2-2 draw, having just conceded a minute before that, so it looked like Shimizu might be taking a 2-1 lead to our house. Thankfully we did as well, because really based on stats, that's a game we should have been winning. Hopefully can take some of that confidence into the second leg, knock off a J1 team for the first time, and make our way through to the semi-final. And here are the team sheets for the second leg of this Cup quarter-final, where we're locked up at 2-2. We have made a change. Shimoda in box-to-box as our under-21 option, with Abe on the bench just to make sure. We still have one out there. Higashi coming back and in goal for Wakabayashi. Do think that could help us out here, especially with how good those guys did look aerially in that first game. But apart from that, the same team which picked up a 2-2 draw but was pretty dominant. Hopefully we can just get over the top of these guys at home and make our way through to the semi-final. And we have to wait a little while for the first highlight of the second leg, but a corner hit in our favour. Going far post, Gonda comes out for it, doesn't get there, and Urakami can hit that one home. Completely different from what we saw in the first leg. Shimizu were a bit all over us in the air, but there Gonda makes a mistake, doesn't quite get there. Urakami heads it into an open net and gives us the lead. And only a few minutes on from the opening goal, another corner for us here. This time we go near post, and Burdisso there with an overhead kick. It was nowhere near target, but not a benefit there from our Argentinian centre-back, but still only up by 1-0. And in fact, right off the back of that chance there to Burdisso, there he is heading that ball down for us, so we get back in position. So a good start from us here in this game, and we play it out to Unholody down our left-hand side. He cuts in field looking for that top right corner, but unfortunately again, just not quite hitting the target. Still 1-0 to the Red Squirrels. And it looks like that might be all the action here for the first half of this second leg, as Kanata there picks up a late yellow card, so maybe that's going to be our sub going in to the second half. He's actually doing quite well out there at left back, got the assist from the set piece for that goal to Urakami. Thankfully Gonda, a bit of a shocker there, and that's allowed us to take a 1-goal lead. In terms of stats again, we're on the front foot, albeit it has actually been quite an even game, but we'll make that sub. Suzuki can come on for Kanade on that yellow card, but everyone else out there doing a decent job. Hopefully we can hold on to this lead and make our way through to a League Cup semi. And a very early highlight here in the second half, and it's a free kick here to the opposition, but it's a poorly taken one. They give the ball there straight to Shimoda, who passes it back to Unholody. Now Suzuki, some fresh legs here off the bench. What can he do? He pulls that one back there for Shimoda before Unholody gives it back to Suzuki, going far post there looking for Unholody, and actually falls quite nicely for Shimizu S-Pulse here to do something on the counter-attack. Santana, who got that late goal, which at that point put them 2-1 up, thankfully went down the other end, got an equaliser ourselves in that first leg, but he was on the attack there, thankfully with deal with the danger. And now Yanino plays that one out there to Yamada. What can he do? Cuts in field, picks out Unholody in a ton of space, cuts in field, finds Janino, who stays on side and puts that one home in the bottom right corner. Did just think there might just straight a stride off, but thankfully he stays on and we make it 2-0. There's our cushion goal lead, and hopefully that's going to see us through here to the final four of this Japanese League Cup. Did look like there he was just in way too good a spot, completely unmarked, and thankfully Unholody did find him. Let's see how close this was to being offside. It's a beautifully timed run, sitting perfectly there in line with the centre back, and thankfully Juninho puts that one away, because to be fair, up until then, he was on a little bit of an iffy rating for being taken off, but he scores that one to give us a 2-goal lead. In fact, as I'm trying to wrap things up, now Unholdy goes down to a red hut, so we'll make a sub. Yamazaki can come on for him, having just helped us take a 2-0 lead. And right off the back of that sub at left wing, we are now down the other end here for a corner to Shimizu, but thankfully too much on that one. Higashi can come out and claim that one very safely, unlike what we saw earlier from Gonda, which did lead to our opening goal. Pumps that one deep, but unfortunately Shimizu will get that one back. But Shimoda there, that tackle looked like it was a bit late and from behind, but thankfully he somehow won the ball and we get it back here. So Juninho plays that one forward to Yamada again, cutting in field. Nice ball over the top there for Yamazaki, who squares it for Yokoyama, who will sweep that one home, and that surely sees us now go through to the semi-finals of this League Cup today. Our finishing a lot better than it was in that first league. Maybe also Shimoda. He should be the guy that we start here when we have this under 21 requirement, because he having a pretty good game out there on a 7.0 in box-to-box midfield. But nice work there to find Yamazaki. Again, good impact from him off the bench. And Yokoyama, he picks up another goal to make it 3-0 on the day. And now we've got Urakami with an orange injury, so we'll play things safe. Dubera can come on for him, but everyone else out there is doing well. 3-0 up with only 25 minutes left. And only a few minutes on from that sub that we did make it centre back. Now there's a corner again here to Shimizu S-Pulse, but thankfully going to win that one. And now Suzuki gets us going here on the counter attack. He picks out Yamazaki, plays that one in field to Juninho. Nice ball over the top there for Shimoda. And I thought there he chipped the goalkeeper quite nicely, but too much on that one. Just goes over the bar, so a good chance there for us to really wrap that up at 4-0, but off the back of that, we do see a corner, which we take short. Yamada will try and there find Yamazaki, just a bit undercooked there, so they cut that one out there to Shimizu, and not much doing from that corner. But now I think going to make our final subs. We'll take off Yamada on a 6.6. Okai, he can do a job at right wing. Got one more sub that we can make. Can't take off Burdisso because no centre-back cover. So I think here we might take off Figueiredo for Okamoto as we make our way into the last 20 minutes. But looking pretty good for a semi with a 3-goal lead. And in fact, there's a highlight just as those subs do go through. And it's a throw in here for Shimizu S-Pulse. But Suzuki hoofs that one all the way back there to Gonda inside of his box. Plays it back out there to his fellow centre-back. And they try and get going here on the attack. If they score a goal here, that might make things a bit more interesting. Higashi, unconvincing save, but thankfully that one doesn't find its way to the back of the net. He goes forward and claims it, and now we go down to the halfway line for a run of our own. Burdisso plays that forward to Ohashi, and Okai does get in behind. Good chance there, but that one looked like it came off the woodwork. Yamazaki pulls that one back for Shimoda, who puts it away. It's a wonder goal there from our young box-to-box midfielder, who's looking like a pretty good option now in these cup games. He scores a goal, which only helped that 7.0 rating, but maybe the goalkeeper still a bit rattled off the back of that effort there down our right-hand side. But Shimoda just curves that one around him into the bottom right corner to make it 4-0 with just under 20 minutes left. Should be in the final four of the League Cup. And we just make our way here into 4 minutes of added time in the second leg of this League Cup quarter-final. We've absolutely wiped the floor here with Shimizu S-Pulse. To be fair, stats-wise, don't actually think it was as impressive as our first league was, especially in terms of the XG, but our finishing today a lot better, especially in that second half, and we pick up a 4-0 win. We go through 6 on aggregate, so that's a really good result for us there. Did dominate them away from home. Just a couple of frustrating goals we conceded, which did mean that was a 2-2 draw, but a lot more clinical here at the Omiya Stadium. We make the most of that home advantage, and that's our first win over a J1 team, and that actually makes us look quite good going into next season, because we bettered those guys really in that second leg, quite dominant over both legs. Do think we deserve our spot in the final four. We'll see who we get in the semi-final, which will probably be coming up in tomorrow's episode. The other teams in it are Vissel, Kobe, Consadole something, and Albrix Nagata. But we have made our way through the final four of the League Cup off the back of a 6-2 aggregate win over Shimizu S-Pulse. So in the end, a pretty comfortable win there over J1 opposition in the quarter-final of the Japanese League Cup. So it does mean we go through to the semi-finals of this competition. That 4-0 win in the second leg, definitely making up for that slightly wasteful 2-2 draw in the first leg there away from home against Shimizu S-Pulse. But that does mean that again we'll be taking on J1 opposition in the final four, because we are the only J2 team who have made their way through into the semi-finals of that competition. Yamazaki actually got man of the match for that game, 2 assists off the bench. Be fair, we might actually need to try and keep him for next season, because I've just realised you need 4 homegrown players in J1. You only need 2 in J2, so that's a bit of an increase there in what we need in J1 next season. The problem is that we already told him that he's been set for release. Let's just see maybe if we can talk to him. Yeah, we can't. That could be a bad decision there from the KloppBot, albeit didn't actually plan that far in advance, which was a bit of a silly mistake from me, considering we've been looking like a J1 team for a fair while this season. Now that it's been confirmed, the rules might mean that Yamazaki actually someone we need to keep, but the KloppBot might have stuffed us there by saying that we don't need him for next season. To be fair, based on star rating, I don't blame him, but he's just found some form there in that League Cup quarterfinal. Hopefully can carry that over into the semis if we're still missing some of our currently injured players here in the likes of Ryunosuke Kabayama. But we are coming back tomorrow for the semi-finals of the League Cup, because it's actually our next game in 30 days' time, so a big gap for some reason here in the J2 season. Not that it matters too much, as we've already wrapped up the title, but we're coming back tomorrow, and we'll be taking on again some J1 opposition in Hokkaido Consadole Sapporo, who are a bit higher up on the table than the team we just bet in the Shimizu S-Pulse. They're in 11th, so they might be a little bit of a step up. Media prediction of 15th, so it does look like a team who should be just a touch better than what we did just beat. But to be fair, we bet them by a pretty big margin in the end. Hopefully can get past these guys and might even have a cup final in our first season here at the Red Squirrels. But if you enjoyed today's episode, that quarterfinal of the League Cup, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying the series here on the channel, also make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. As I said, we'll come back tomorrow for the 2-legged semi-final against Consadole Sapporo. The other semi-final, we'll go back and check out what that is, see who we could be taking on in the final. Vissel Kobe, who are top of the table in J1 against Alberix Nagata. We might be on the weaker side of the draw, but to be fair, cup final in our first season, that wouldn't be a bad effort here at all alongside the J2 title. Hopefully we can make that happen tomorrow. So until then, thank you very much for watching, keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.